Hello and welcome everybody to the HVAC Financial Freedom podcast. Got some of the swag here, got some hats and some shirts. Welcome to season two. We had a very fun season one, a lot of great guests. And today I'm very excited to bring another amazing guest, and we're talking email marketing. And so right now it is mid January. Things may be a little bit slower than you might want, and I thought that'd be perfect to bring on our current guest because email marketing is one of those things that you can set up now. You can begin hitting your database and generating potential leads and jobs from this. And this is in comparison to doing things like SEO that might take 3 to 6 months. And so this is a perfect time to be discussing your email marketing. And the reason why I'm so excited is that Zach specializes in email marketing for HVAC contractors. He's very well versed working within Service Titan, implementing campaigns, and really generating the type of business that you might need in the slow season as well as in busy season. So, with that, I am going to bring Zach on, and we are going to have a fun conversation for today. Welcome, Zach.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Happy 2023.
Yeah, you too. It came fast, that's for sure.
Oh, it came so fast. Yeah, for everyone who's listening, me and Zach were talking about how fast the start of 2023 has been. Had the holidays, and now we're rolling right into things. I don't know. Whoever's writing, the story of the world has just made it really busy for all of us.
Oh man. Yeah, I think I was beforehand. It's like I feel like I started back in October and it's been just pedal to the metal since then, and we haven't slowed down yet.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's just at neck breaking speed. So yeah, so for everyone who's tuning in, yeah, we're talking email marketing today. And the title of today's podcast was Why Your Email Marketing Sucks and What You Need to Do About it. Because I think that there's a perspective that people might have that we're these experts at email, right? We send emails all the time, it's so easy. You just gotta, type something up and send it to a few people. But when people end up doing that, they just don't get the results that they want. So Zach, I want to ask you just to set the context for people who might be feeling this problem. Like what's going wrong here? Like why are people doing email marketing, but it's not turning into the business results that they want?
Yeah. Yeah, I think what you said is perfect. I mean, that's a big thing. It's like you're sending emails to employees, you're sending email, you might even be sending emails to customers, you're sending emails every day. So you think like email marketing, it's like, oh, that's not that big of a deal. I'm just gonna, write up an email, send it out to all my
Yeah, right.
customers. Everybody's gonna respond. We're gonna have jobs all over the place. And it's like, but how much thought did you put into that? Though may way you think about emailing like another employee or a friend or something like that, you're just getting you have an in-depth relationship there.
Already.
They already know exactly, they have a feeling of exactly what you're going to be emailing them on. And so all that stuff is built up. But when you're emailing a client or a customer, then none of that relationship is there. So you kind of have to build that into your email. And then the other side of the coin there is people are like, okay, well, I would like to do email marketing, but I need to think through all these things, and I need to have the have the need to have that silver bullet email
Mm,
that I'm just going to send out. So I'm going to think about it for a month, and then I'm going to send it out. Or you think about it for a month and then you're busy and you don't send it. So you're like
mhm.
either investing way too much time expecting this perfect email, or way too little time thinking you can just send out any random thing and it's going to be great.
Yes, and those are, yeah, things that people are facing. And also there's the technical side of it as well, where let's say that someone wants to run this email campaign. Maybe talk to some of the technical things that need to be done, because if you just blast everyone, I'm
Yeah.
sure there's problems that come with that too.
Yeah. I think the yeah, that's a huge thing. One of the things I always like to think about or talk about is like you do want to send emails to your customers, obviously, but you want to be thoughtful about who you're sending it to,
Mm,
because if you're as an HVAC owner, or marketing lead for your HVAC company, whatever that may be, you're building a brand, and you want to make sure that that brand is on point. And you don't want to just send out like this generic email that's going to every single customer. I mean, customers will start seeing that they get an email. It's just, oh, well, I can tell that this just goes to everybody. And that
yes.
can be okay. You can send, a Christmas email to just get people engaged, and that's cool. But if every email you send is a Christmas email, essentially, or a, 4th of July or whatever it may be, a holiday email, let's say, or has that heart of a holiday email, then customers are like, oh, well, they're just sending something that goes to
Yeah.
everybody. It can apply. It's not special. You're not building that. Building that brand reputation. Um,
Mm,
and then the other thing that we've seen is like people get these sweet systems for sending out emails, whether it be Service Titan or another CRM, and then they're like, okay, well, we got this. We're spending lots of money on it.
yeah.
We got this really cool email marketing system
Right.
that has these really sweet campaigns that we can just set up automated. So we go ahead and we set up all these automated campaigns. And, I invest 40 hours into it. And I'm like, okay, well, now I don't have to ever do anything on email marketing ever again, because I
Mm,
did it all in 40 hours. And then you realize 6 months down the road that, oh, some of these automated campaigns, I'm sending 7, 8, 9 emails to the same customer every week.
mm,
Or you get down the road, and or 2 years down the road, and customers are like, hey, I mean, I feel like I saw the same email like at the exact same time last year. It looked exactly the same. I mean, your customers aren't stupid.
yes.
They know things, and they're busy, but they we are,
Pays
as
attention.
humans, I think we are like, I heard something saying that humans are like specially designed to recognize patterns.
Patterns. Yep.
And
Mhm.
if you're sending emails in a pattern, I mean, they're going to recognize
Obviously.
it.
And one thing I want to pull out from what you said, and this is something that came from our pre-call, was um, the way that we approach emails, the philosophy. It can't just be I want to set and forget and automate it, because the overarching principle is you want to build a relationship. And
Yeah.
so a quick example that I can think of is, there's, like during the holidays, you'll have friends that you haven't seen in a long time, or someone who just wishes you like, oh, the happy birthday on Facebook, or Merry Christmas, or Happy New Year. But that's like the only communication that you have.
Yeah.
There wasn't a deepening. It's just like, hey, I'm here, but you're not cultivating and building something. And I think similar to what you're saying, it's like if a business is just there, during the holidays, I feel like it's the same thing. It's like expected almost. Like it's you don't get any brownie points for having done that.
Yeah.
And if you're, especially if you're automating it, there's no relationship that's being developed. It's just this, it's like I'm just gonna check the box off. But who wants to be in a relationship where the other person just wants to check boxes off, right?
Yeah.
It's and could you speak to that philosophy? Because I loved what you said, like in our pre-call, and I think that'd be really valuable to share with everyone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. You're wanting to develop. It's kind of going, like what I was saying there. You're building that brand, and you want your customers to care about you, because you probably care about your customers. Like,
Yes,
you
we
want your
should.
customers. You probably care about them. I mean, most HVAC. I don't think I know of an HVAC company is like,
Yes.
yeah, we're a family-owned business, and we can't stand any of the people that we do installs for.
Yeah.
Like, that's not
I mean, like, you
anything that
got some
anybody.
serious problems, man.
Yeah, like you care about your customers, and you're like, yeah, we're a family-owned business, or whatever it may be. And we really love all of our customers, and we seek to have the best customer service and all these things. If that's the case, you want to have that um, same thing being shown through your emails.
Mm,
And you don't want to be just sending out emails for holidays, like you're saying. Um, that okay, well, yeah, I get that on social media, like my 500 or my 10,000 friends, whatever it is. They send me a birthday wish, and then I never hear from them. Oh, but you also don't want to be like infusing them with like specials, because then it's like, okay, well, I'm only getting an email when it's a holiday, or I'm only getting an email when it's a special. Like, you're not cultivating that relationship. You're not cultivating having an engagement with your customer base. And if you're just running specials, one of the things I always say is like,
yeah,
if you're running a special all the time, it's not a special.
it's not special.
If it's a special every day, it's not special like
The
anymore.
like couch
So
scores like 80% off. Like, it's been
yeah,
80% off every day this year.
yeah, 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 and customers realize that. I mean, you just if you as a HVAC owner, whatever, as a general anybody, if you think about it, those stores that you go into, and they always have a sale going on, and you're like, okay, well, there's no sense of urgency to do anything here, because I've come to this store the last year, and every time I walk in, they have a sale going on. And if that's the what you're presenting through your email marketing, by like every email is a sale,
Yeah.
customers, that's not developing that relationship there. They're just like, okay, well, they'll send me an email when there's a sale, but I don't really need to pay attention to it at all, because I
Mhm.
mean, that same thing is going to be going on next week or next month, and
Yeah.
or tomorrow. It doesn't matter at all. So that email marketing does need to have that mix of, okay, we're going to let you know I care about you as a customer. I'm going to let you know when there's a special. I care about you as a customer. I'm going to send you an email on a holiday, because we want to have that relationship. Hey, I am thinking about you as a customer. So here's like at the beginning of this year, we have a lot of federal tax credits
Yeah.
on systems. Yeah, it helps you as a business owner to sell a system, but you are helping the customer too, because the you're not getting more money necessarily
Mhm.
by having a tax credit, but it is something, it's relevant information for your customers, and that's developing that relationship. So you do want to be thinking through that.
Mm. So what I'm pulling from what you're saying is, first, you can't just be automated and just being around the holidays. You have to be intentional, like building any relationship. We have to be intentional about how we're doing that. Part of that sounds like some of the communications need to be timely and relevant. So,
Yeah.
let's say with the new year, these tax credits, like that sort of information is helpful. Or if we're moving into the winter time or maybe into the summer, maybe there's certain things that someone might need to keep in mind, so that there isn't a problem when it's 100 degrees out and the air conditioning goes out. And now, like, I'm worried about the health of my kids or an elderly grandparent who's home. And so, just like getting people to think about these things, because people are busy with life,
Yeah.
right? And it sounds like putting yourself, I mean, part of it is really empathy, putting yourself in your, as an HVAC owner, putting yourself in your customer's shoes, like what are the things that they would find to be timely and relevant? And so I'm pulling some of these things out. And
Yeah.
so I guess on that, for anyone who this email marketing might seem still confusing, like could you give an example of what this could look like, and maybe just like how the campaign is designed and maybe some of the results that might flow if someone is more intentional with how they're approaching their email marketing?
Yeah. Yeah. So the big thing that I see with email marketing is, I'm trying to think how to go with this question. Yeah, the big thing with email marketing is you are being intentional. You are developing that relationship. Everything you said is exactly right. And when you're approaching it, you do want to put yourself in your customer's shoes and think about also, like, what doesn't a customer know that I do know as a HVAC owner. And that can be difficult because you once you know something, it's hard to think about a time when you didn't know those things.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
another thing that is important is with like heat pumps, and this is going to be a somewhat area dependent, I suppose, but you can only service those at certain times, and that's something as an HVAC owner. But your customer doesn't think about that. They don't know that. And you may not even think about that as an HVAC owner, like, oh, yeah, like customers aren't thinking through this. It's natural for you. You're thinking about it every day. Um, but your customers aren't. So that's important. That's relevant information. And as far as, results and like your approach, like I said, the approach is, how do I want to be communicated to by companies? I don't really want to um, be just getting an email all the time. And I think this is something we talked about before. Uh, is we all have those companies that you sign up for, you buy something or you sign up for them, and then you get an email every day or every one 3 times a week or whatever it may be. And it's like, well, it's something I care about. I don't want to just get rid of it, um whether it be like sunglasses or bicycles or you know kayaks or other outdoor activities. I don't know. That's what I do all the time, is outdoor stuff. So that's what I think about. But yeah, I've gotten like, I was signed up for Oakley before. Hopefully Oakley doesn't get upset with this, but they'll like send me an email every day, and I get an email and I just delete it as fast as it comes into my email box. And sometimes I'll like read the subject lines as I'm deleting the email, and then I'll read something. Oh, that was enticing. Oh, it's gone. It was,
Yeah.
and now it's like we talked about. I'm going 100 miles an hour. It's been busy since October, so yep, I'm not even gonna go search through my trash to find where that email was, even though that subject line was enticing. Like, you don't want to do that to your customers. So it's that thoughtfulness of like, okay, what's relevant information? How do I want to be communicated? What is information that I know that's helpful for a customer that they don't know, that maybe I'm just kind of anticipating that they would know. But I'm not also giving them information and it's like, okay, well, this is just annoying. I've had some clients that we've been working with. They're like, okay, well, we have this automated campaign sending out emails for changing your filters, and they get a filter uh, reminder every month. And it's like, oh, yeah, that sounds cool initially, but then after like 3 months, that customer is just like, oh, this is an email that I need to delete. I know that I need to
Mm.
change my filters. So yeah, you want to have some good campaigns in there, and that might be something to send out once every 6 months, saying, hey, remember to change your filters every month. But that's all you need. Just like, think about it as your friend. You don't want
Hmm.
you you don't want you would get annoyed if your friend was like, "Hey, did you
Like,
change your filters
like,
this
like,
month?"
bro, you told me already. Like, you got.
Yeah.
Yes, I get it. You know.
Yeah. Like, I didn't sign you up to be my like accountability partner. I don't need you to like remind me to go exercise or something like because I'm not exercising. Like that's not what you're here for. But you have a friend, you're like, you buy a brand new house, and you never had a house before, and one of your friends is like, "Hey, you have this house, you probably should change your filters every month. And
Mm,
then a year goes by, like, hey, so you've been changing your filters? Like, oh yeah, you did say that. Okay, cool, I'll do that.
mm.
Like, that's the kind of stuff that is helpful for customers, and I think helps customers feel that, like, okay, they care about me, but they're not just sending me an email to send me an email and be annoying.
So let me so I love so I'm hearing two ideas that someone could potentially implement as campaigns. The first one, and I actually want to run this by you and see like how everyone thinks of it as well. But if you are serving an area where there are a lot of new homeowners, I'm potentially imagining like what if there was this email list that you could subscribe to, and it would just be like key things like what do you need to know about when you're a new homeowner when it comes to your HVAC systems. And it would be like a drip campaign. Maybe it comes at different times during the year, so it's
Yeah.
timely and they opted in because they are a new homeowner. And then second could be, there's these annual reminders, like you said, filters might be one thing. Someone could, I don't know, maybe design an email sequence where they know at certain points during the year there's going to be issues, and just having those reminders during that time would.
Mhm.
What do you think about those as campaigns? I'm trying to think like what could someone take like, hey, we're going to try to implement something like this.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's good. I think that having something like that, having some, like, what we do with our clients is we plan out a year of what your emails are going to look like. We try to stay away. We set up some specific things for clients as far as automated campaigns, open estimates and so forth. Those ones are just no brainers.
Hmm.
But then we set up a campaign, a schedule for you over the year of, like, what are some intentional emails that would be good to send out to clients. And then but we have a lot of flexibility in there because things do change. So yeah, exactly what you're saying as far as like a tip email, that would be something that we would sprinkle in and send out maybe 4 to 6 like tips over the course of the
Mm,
whole year. So that's like it does that is still like one a month, but it's not the same tip. So one
yep.
might be like filters, and one might be, hey, it's getting to flu season. Do you, and there's like a million of them, but do you have a UV light? Do you have iWave or whatever? Have you thought about doing that? It's important because it's going to help
Mm,
you not get the flu. So that's kind of a tip email, but
mm,
it's also helpful for HVAC owner because it's probably something that they do sell. Um, so you do want to be a thoughtful in there, and then be able to like change. 2 years ago, I mean, everybody, or 3 years ago, goodness, with
yeah.
COVID, it's like you want to be ready for that stuff because we're talking that was in March, and it's not. Well, that's not flu season, but it was something that's relevant. Like, okay, we need to get information out to our customers now, telling them about whether it be UV lights, or whether it be like, hey, we can actually still service you even though we can't like talk to you or see you, you
Hmm.
know? So having that kind of information, I think the biggest thing, I like both the kind of campaign ideas you had. The only reservation I have is like having a campaign that is set up. We try to stay away from campaigns that are set up to go for a whole year and then just keep recycling, because
Mm,
it cuts down on that flexibility. And then what we find is, do people do try to do that, and they
yeah.
set up 10, 15, 20 of those campaigns, and that's where you run into that situation where it's like, oh, whoops, I might be I might have 15 automated campaigns with specific audiences,
Mm,
but um I didn't realize that 100 or 10% of my client base all falls into this same special audience that I created, and that customer is
Ah,
getting 15 emails
yes.
in a week, and that's rough. But yeah, as far as like some specific campaigns doing things like that, as far as tips or as far as holiday stuff is still good. You don't want to miss that. Um, we also have found a lot of success in some campaigns that, um, if you have technicians in areas sending out a specific campaign, saying, "Hey, we have a technician in your area. There's
Mm,
a sign up and we'll waive like sending the technician out to you." So that's a super helpful campaign both for the customer and the HVAC owner, because it helps the owner. They don't have to pay for that travel, and it helps the customer because they don't have to they don't have to pay the extra money that they would normally to
yeah.
get somebody out there. So that's a good campaign that we've seen helpful. But again, that's something, it's like, okay, well, this is something we run every quarter at the most, probably.
Hmm.
Um, if I'm running that every month, again, okay, well, there's nothing special about that anymore. Now it's expected. Now you have customers
Mm,
calling you, "Hey, I needed somebody out of my house. You guys always run this special. Can I get this special?" Because I mean, I obviously know it's not special anymore because I've seen it all the time.
yes.
And then they're like, "No, we're actually not doing that right now." Now you have a customer upset. You don't want to.
Mm.
So that's the balance there.
Love it. So, just pulling from what you said, there's like a few topics that we could have. Part of it is educational, could be based off a time of year, and then second, it sounds like almost like event based, where like if there is a technician in that area, you're setting up some sequence to let people know within, I guess, like a certain radius or however that would
Yeah,
work. So then, if someone wants to take them up, like it's really a win-win. Saves
yeah,
company time, windshield time, and then for the customer, they don't have to pay for that.
yeah,
Um, got it.
yeah. Exactly.
Time of
Yeah, and that's it. Just that thoughtfulness of, okay, specials are good, holidays are good, information is good. Um, just a general touch point that's not tied to a holiday, that is good. But you want to have that all um spread out, because
mm,
if you're just doing one of those all the time, that's not good.
yes.
Or if you're doing just two of those all the time, it's like, well, we want to have 5, 6, 7 different campaign ideas that we are kind of running on a cycle, um, to get that information out to customers. And that's all about, that's that building that relationship with your customer base. And that's what we really look for. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people, when you kind of going back to the name of the podcast, why your email marketing sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're thinking, okay, well, I know that this is good, so I'm just going to run that all the time. And it was like, okay, well, that was
Hmm.
good, but not all the time. Not all the time
Hmm.
is the key. Some of the time, just like, I don't know. It's all everything. It's the same as life in general. It's like a hamburger might be good, but if it's a hamburger every day,
I was literally about to
then
say the same thing. Yeah, McDonald's, right? I love me a good Big Mac, but I eat it every single day. I'm gonna be in the hospital pretty soon. So.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Love that. So let's turn this into action. Let's say someone today, they wanted to write their first email. They're not going to build out an entire campaign, but they want to write their first email. It's the start of this year. They're trying to think about what they want to do. What's a list of questions or frameworks someone could use to design their very first email for their email marketing?
Yeah. So, this would probably be best for one of our account managers, but some of the things that we talk about in our meetings it's like getting a lot of the stuff that we've talked about, just kind of bringing it down into one spot. Okay, well, we want to have good branding. So I want to make sure that this email has, has my company logo. I want to make sure that it's in theme. I want to make sure that it has continuity with what I have on my website, which is helpful, on the SEO side too. So, your first question is like, what is our brand? Okay, I got
Mm.
that dialed in. Now, how do I get that brand out on this email? Well, you want to have that logo, you want to have that continuity in language. Okay, perfect. Now, what am I as a now let me put myself in the customer's shoes. Why do I want to get this email? Like, what's going to
Mm.
make me care about this email? Well, it is the beginning of the year, so you could do, you know, a New Year's thing, like what's your New Year's resolution or Happy New Year's. That could be fun. So you could do that. But what's the more relevant right now? Like we talked about, we have the federal tax credits. Okay, now that's important information that as an owner, but your customers probably have no idea. I mean, I haven't heard anything about it really on the news or anything. Personally, I know about it because I work
Yeah.
with HVAC stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but as a like talking to my family, they're like, "Oh, I had no idea." Yeah, it's nobody's talking about it. So, okay, that's relevant information. So that's that second question. What's some relevant information that I can get this customer that's going to be helpful for them? So then you find something. Right now you're doing that, or you're getting to the summer. Let's say we're in 2 months from now, or in February or March. Again, some of this stuff is location dependent, and that's something that we think through a lot with all of our clients. But let's say I'm here in Arizona, so summer starts next week. um but you're in February or you're in March. Okay, well, what's relevant information? Hey, temperatures are going to start getting warmer. You probably should get your stuff checked out before the
Mm.
summer hits, because nothing worse if you're in Arizona, nothing worse than being in your house and it's 115 outside and your AC breaks.
Oof. Yeah.
So, I've had that happen. And, customers aren't necessarily, they're busy too. Your customers are busy. They're not thinking about that stuff. So those nice reminders that it are helpful. So, you're you're getting towards the end of summer and things are starting to get cooler. And it's like, okay, well, now we can start servicing some other things on your heat pump that we couldn't have done 2 months ago because it was too hot. That's relevant information. Um, so thinking through those, what's relevant information I can get to my client. Then you're thinking, okay, what kind of information do I want to have in this email? Well, again, I like to put myself in customers' shoes, in clients' shoes. What am I what's going on in my life? Well, I don't want to get an email with five, what realistically in a bad email, maybe 300 words. Like, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to read 300 words. I have time for two sentences, maybe. So, okay, how do I get that message out in two sentences? Okay, now I have a plan for getting that message in two sentences. Now I want to have continuity with my subject line. I want to have something that's not getting caught by spam filter. So playing around, thinking through good subject lines. What's a good subject line to put in there? Okay, now I've got that dialed in. How is that? I want to make sure that relates to the two sentence information I have in my
Mm.
email. So those are some questions. Hopefully that answers the question you had.
No, it's helpful. So so the type of email, here's some of the characteristics you said. Again, timely and relevant. It has to match the brand. So if there's certain things you won't talk about as a brand, obviously you can cross off those ideas.
Yep.
The length is important, considering that everyone's inboxes. I cleared my inbox earlier today. Now I have 27 emails. I don't know where they came from. So having something that can catch attention, but also is not too long,
Yep.
and then making that relevant to the subject line. Um, and then I guess maybe the only other thing to ask would be, let's say someone wants to send this out. Like, are they just doing this via Gmail, or do they need like to do like have an actual system to do this? Like, what if someone want to get started today? Like, what would they have to do this in a safe way? Because I'm sure a lot of people might not, but if you don't know, like your email domain can get banned if you do the wrong things, and
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah. Good question. You're, yeah, you don't want to send it out through your Gmail. um, and it's not going to be helpful because I guess maybe if you have an Excel sheet of every single customer and you can kind of quickly run through there and see what who qualifies for what, and then you can just copy and paste it into into the email. Okay,
right.
maybe that would work. That sounds like a pain in the neck. So
Oh God.
I think that there's things out there, like Mailchimp, is fine. You can do stuff like that, but you want to have a good CRM. So uh, you want to have a good CRM. I think a lot of HVAC owners that I've run into have Service Titan, and it is a pretty good CRM. The other thing that you want is, like, let's say you can get something to work for you that's not in your CRM. That's cool, but you do want to track, like, what kind of success am I having from these emails? Like, I can send out a bunch of emails and guess at getting revenue, but it's best to have that continuity between your where you're emailing and your CRM. That way you can track the revenue.
Hmm.
It's difficult enough to track the revenue when both of those things are in the same place. Believe
Yeah.
me.
Right.
A lot of our clients have Service Titan, and it is difficult enough to, like, track that information and make sure that we're getting good results just in Service Titan. And we actually run an audit on the revenue for our clients because of that. But yeah, you want to have a good CRM, and you probably should look into, what does my CRM do for email marketing. I think most of them, most high quality CRMs have something for email marketing, and that's going to allow you to do some other things that I think we've talked around but haven't really addressed specifically, is like picking out specific audiences, picking
Hmm.
out, being able to track. Again, we did talk about this, being able to track what kind of revenue I'm getting in there. Maybe being able to save some email templates. That way you don't have
Yeah.
to do automated campaigns, but you can go back and look at some of the stuff that you have previously. That will save you some time.
Yes.
Um, and some nice things about CRMs these days, with email marketing, is they will help you through some of those other things, like having good subject lines and so forth. Um, but yeah, so yeah, that's what I would say. Is,
Oh,
you're
that's
just getting started, take a look at how you're managing your customers now.
yes.
And I would ask, if you don't know, reach out to your representative or whatever um, with your management software. See if they do something for email marketing. If they don't, see if they can. If they
Hmm.
don't, there are things like, Mailchimp and stuff like that. But I feel like that's more of a stopgap, honestly.
Yeah. And of course, Zach, I plug you as well. Like if anyone is currently on service side and using Marketing Pro, you're having issues, or you want to get started with email marketing, reach out to Zach. This is his specialty. If I were to try to figure this out myself, my brain would probably explode. And so you already have proven results. He works with HVAC contractors already, and a lot of these things he gets to see best practices across the different campaigns. And so yeah, a lot of what he's sharing today, it's so timely and so relevant, and really, like, if you need help, reach out, and I'm sure Zach and his team would be very happy to support.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think one of the big things that you kind of mentioned in there is we get to have the benefit of working for multiple different clients, and we can run a bunch of different campaigns, and we get the benefit of like running a bad campaign and going, oh, we're not going to run that for anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's like out of one bad campaign ends up being like a 0.5% or less of all the emails, all the campaigns that we send out. But if you're an HVAC owner and you're sending out a campaign every week or something to a targeted audience,
Hmm.
okay, well, realistically, you send out one bad campaign. I'm going to do math live here, and it's going to be real bad. Uh, but well, it's like 5% of your emails are bad now.
Hmm.
So that's the one thing that we get to benefit from is we can make a mistake, and it's not that big of a deal because it's one time. And
Exactly.
realistically, everybody's going to have some bad campaigns. That's
Yeah.
just going to happen. And realistically, you're going to have more than one a year. But we have the benefit of seeing, okay, these have all worked. This kind of stuff, this kind of messaging, these kind of words, this all works. So our success rate is a lot higher because of that
Mhm.
extra knowledge base that you just can't get otherwise, I don't think.
Yes, and for everyone who's listening, I mean, also this is why listening to podcasts and people are so great. Really shortcut the process. You don't have to make the mistakes yourself. So
Yeah.
whether you work with someone directly, or you listen to the experience of someone, or you read a book, really big value, and that's really what this podcast is all about. It's improving yourself and not having to make all the mistakes. Right? The mistakes are painful enough. Someone's gone through it. Someone can help guide you, whether you listen, and it just takes a matter of listening and seeing how that applies to your life. And
Yeah.
so with that, I think we got some great actionable items that people can take. We have, what we need to look at in terms of the structure, the software, the infrastructure that gets this all done, as well as a framework for beginning to design your campaign if you want to do it on your own. But also the benefit of knowing who to reach out to if you ever need help with your email marketing. So before we close, I want to talk briefly about some mindset stuff. Season one, we talked about financial freedom, people's perspective on it, but also just like being a business owner, right? Running your own business, whether you're just starting out or you've been in it for a while, there's a lot of challenges that come up.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we talked about prior to this was the fact that it can feel that life is moving at 100 miles per hour. And to be in business, right, it's a statistics game sometimes, where I think it's like 80% of businesses go out of business in 5 years. And so how does one have, in terms of mindset, like, how does one give their full effort while at the same time running this marathon? Like, what's your perspective on ensuring longevity so that someone can achieve success? Like, what's your perspective on that?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think a big thing is is setting proper expectations. I mean, I think that's good in life in general, but like definitely in this, setting those proper expectations. What does that look like? Well, I'm a business owner, and yeah, it is going to be a lot of work. So one of my proper expectations is I'm not becoming a business owner to not work.
Right, right.
I'm I'm doing this because I know it's going to be a lot of work. If you go into it knowing it's going to be a lot of work, then that helps out. The second thing that I think, as far as like, how do you get through um, being super busy? What's the mindset to have? I think one of the things that we talked about, and I don't know if this is directly answering the question, but I think it's super important, is um, you know, building people around you that do the things you need really well. Like I talked about with you, I don't feel like I'm super smart in really any category. I think my best attribute is like looking at what other people do really well, and being like, okay, I want that guy to help me, and I want that girl to help me,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go to that seminar because I need to learn that. But figuring those things out and then putting those things in place as much as you possibly can, that can also be a huge time saver. If I was if I was trying to design our email campaigns, like, I would spend, I don't know, 20 hours trying to figure out how the design work. I can put somebody in place that can do that in, realistically, 10 minutes or a half an hour or something. I probably,
Mhm.
for the people that do that for us, they're probably like, whoa, 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 it still takes more than
Like,
10 minutes.
wait, one second, one
But
second.
but you get it. I mean, you get the idea. People have certain skill sets. If it's not your skill set, don't do it. Put somebody in place that is their skill set and they can do it well, and that's going to it's going to help your employees. It's going to help your customers. Your employees feel empowered that way. I think your customers feel better because they're getting a premium product. And I mean, that's what we strive to do, is provide a premium product. I think that's what most HVAC owners want to provide, a premium product for their customers and have that good customer service. So putting those people in place to do that, and then just knowing, hey, this is going to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
This is going to be a lot of work. I'm not doing this to sit on the beach.
Yes, maybe one day, but like especially getting something off the ground, it is like you're birthing something. Like you're bringing this idea into the world, and all these competing forces that are trying to compete, like they don't want you to succeed. Like, and it's not like they want you not to succeed. It's just there's people already in the market, and they're going after the same customers, so it's not going to be a walk in the park. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Love that. So, yeah, really great advice, and I think it really fits into one of the themes we discuss on the podcast in previous episodes. Of really, you are in a sense like as business owners, we're trying to connect up all the dots. We aren't trying to build mastery in all these different topics, but how can you design a system, hire the right people, retain those people, giving them the resources that they need in order to succeed and thrive, because we just don't have enough time to do the business and then also have a great family life and then take care of your health. Time's short. And so really, like as business owners, we're thinking, how do we design the system that can be a vehicle to create the outcomes for your customers and for your life? And so absolutely love that. And so with that, I think we're nearing the hour. Any last advice, and also how can people get into contact with you if they're interested in reaching out?
Yeah, yeah. I think the last advice, I think one thing that we talked about a little bit before is like, is and this is relevant for you and what you guys do, is you want to have uh, a good marketing strategy. And SEO is awesome and super important. You want to have that, but as I'm sure you probably talked to
Mhm.
clients, is like, hey, this is going to be a process. We're not going to turn SEO on and leads
Yeah.
are just going to be like flowing into your business. Like, that's not realistic.
Yeah.
um and that's not necessarily the case with email marketing, but it is a lot quicker process. But the things do go together. So when you're thinking about your marketing strategy, it's like, okay, well, I do want to have I do want to have SEO. I do want to have email marketing. I do want to have some kind of social media presence. I want to put these things together and they all work together really well. Like
Mm,
your SEO builds your email marketing builds your SEO. And one of the things that we've seen huge is you don't want, I think SEO is huge for getting you new customers. And then email marketing, social media, stuff like that is huge for retaining those new people that
mhm,
SEO gets you. Um, what we've seen with a lot of our clients is, hey, um, you have a bunch of people in your system that have worked with you or have contacted you, have some kind of connection with them.
yes.
And 10, maybe 20% of them have like some kind of agreement, a yearly agreement or monthly agreement or something with you. That means that 80-90% of those people
Hmm.
don't. And email marketing, social media, they can turn um, that 80-90% of your customer base into either subscribed people by having your monthly or yearly membership or whatever it is, having your membership, whatever it may be, um, or by turning them into basically what we call or I call soft subscribed uh, customers. And
Mm,
so they may not have a membership with you, but when they think about their HVAC system, when they think about their heating system, their cooling system, they think about your company, and
yes.
you're not relying necessarily on SEO to bring them to you because they're
Mhm.
not going to Google and typing in HVAC near me or best
Yeah.
HVAC in uh, Buckeye or whatever it may be. They're just going, oh yeah, I got this email from them a couple weeks ago, and they seem like good guys. They've always given me
Mhm.
relevant information. Oh, I'm just gonna pull it up. What's the phone number there? Oh, I'll just call that.
Yes.
Or at some point, they just have your number saved in their phone. They're like, oh yep, something went wrong. It's been 3 years. Something went wrong with my system. I'm just gonna call these guys because they've always treated me nice in the past. So I think to that was a long answer, but it to bring it down into one little thing is you want to have that marketing strategy, a
Yes.
full force marketing strategy. Pulling one lever is not gonna. I don't think pulling one lever is really gonna do it for you.
And I think you bring up, and we'll close on this. It's like, it's a very powerful thing, right? SEO may get you the introduction, but you need to build the relationship, because if you only have the SEO front, you only capture people when they are like ready to buy, and that's their buying style. Like, I have this immediate need, I'll buy now. Or, I just see you call, done. But there are other buyers who this is not the right time for them. They need some time to warm up to you, and to for you to gain mind share of like your expertise. And so SEO can make the introduction, and it can make it the best introduction possible because it was relevant.
Yeah,
But you need something that continues to develop that relationship if they're not ready to buy right now. Because
yeah,
otherwise, they come back a year later, your SEO rankings are different, Google changes it. And so why miss out on building that opportunity? And that's why I also believe that SEO and email marketing, they work together hand in hand. Um, and so, and we'll talk about this later. I'd love to do a webinar actually on this at some point with you if you'd be interested. But
yeah,
I think it's really like a match made in heaven. It's both organic and it's incredible. So with that, how do people get in contact with you if
yeah.
they want to reach out?
I'm glad you. I knew it's like he asked two questions, but I'm so long winded. I
Don't
forgot
worry,
what
don't
the
worry,
second
no
one.
worries. No, I think this has a really good point. Yeah, that's the relationship between them too. But
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you can, our website is Henson dot tech.
hmm.
So you can get in contact with us there. You can email me directly at Zachary at Henson dot tech. You can call me directly if you want. My direct phone number is 623 692 8602. We have, you can find us on Facebook. Goodness. Yeah, I think those are the four or four main places. So yeah, Henson.tech is a great place. Facebook page. You can email us anytime, and we'll get you taken care of.
Awesome. Love it. So thank you, Zach, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you were able to take something away that you can take action on. Really, I say this. I've said this in a few podcasts as well. You can listen, but if you don't take action on it, nothing really changes. And so, don't just be listening for entertainment. Let's actually transform your business and take
Yeah.
some of these insights, take action, do something like it, even if it's designing just the subject line today. Speed of implementation is a characteristic of what I've seen to be the most successful people. And so take action, do something today, and see your business grow. So that's about it. Thank you, everyone. Hope you are enjoying our first episode for season 2, and we will catch you in the next one. All right, take care, everyone.
Sweet. Bye.